Hello and good evening to all of you guys. As expected, a trending day today. Nifty fell from the high to the low nearly 325 points, and that was a big fall. So let's start analyzing Nifty today. So here the day opened with a red candle, and if you can see, it is taking resistance exactly at the level that we had marked here. Now it opened between these two levels, and the first red candle indicated that the sellers were strong. Now you can see here that the R1 pivot is at this level. I'll just mark it here. This is the R1 pivot. This is the day's high, the previous day high. So there were two supports here, and the day opened with a strong red candle. Why was it strong? See, the body isn't very strong, but the wick on the top suggests that the selling is pretty strong. And then we also had the R2 at this level. Price never reached there, but had it reached there, you can see here that there was the gap here, and this was the R2 pivot. So two strong resistances were on top. So had price even reached R2, there was a strong possibility that here it would have taken resistance. Anyway, so here price broke R1 at exactly this level. That was a 9:25 AM candle. But in Bank Nifty, it had already broken the PDH like this with a red candle. What happened here? This was a doji kind of a candle, and it left a low here, below which this particular candle could not close. Which candle was it? It was the 9:35 AM candle. And by that time, Bank Nifty was already within the previous day's range. And then the 9:35 AM candle also left a low here. This was the wick here, and this is not a strong breakdown candle. And you can see that how much time price was taking support at exactly the same level. And after the 9:35 AM candle left the wick, it was the 10:05 AM candle that was a large candle. So this was the breakdown candle here. So till then, actually we did not see a very convincing breakout. Why? Because this level, the PDH, below this we had the wick here, and you can see that this particular candle could not close below the wick. Then again, this was the low here, and then this low extended up to here. There was no way that any candle here was a shorting candle. See, none of these candles were shorting candles here. The only candle which broke this low convincingly was this particular candle. But by that time, price had already come a long way down below the previous day high. See, yesterday we had seen a fall of around 200 points from the day high to the day low. So I had said in yesterday's video that the PDH, that was yesterday's high, will be a strong supply zone. Now when price opens above the supply zone here, you can now see that sellers are active in this area because that's a resistance we had marked. We have an R1 here which is going to act as a resistance again. When it opens outside, yes, it is a support, but once it's broken, now it is a resistance. And then the PDH is also broken. So all these three strong resistances are with us. In fact, four. Why? Because the current day high is here. The supply zone we had marked, or the resistance we had marked, is here. So 2. Then the R1 is 3, and then the PDH is 4. So 1, 2, 3 and 4. 4 strong resistances above price. It is a given that price would not have crossed PDH today. Now you will start understanding price action if you trade on Nifty Bank Nifty daily like I do. You will know the kind of price action that Nifty Bank Nifty produce. And when the PDH is broken with such strong resistance on top, like here it had broken, then it is evident that the price will not cross that area. But given the fact that there was really no strength in all these candles, we could not see a very strong breakdown candle over there. So there was no decision making candle out there. There has to be a decision making candle, isn't it? But we did not see a single decision making candle in that crash. We can see that the CPR here was fairly narrow. I had said yesterday that the CPR is fairly narrow, so probability of a trending day are higher. But then now you can see the kind of price action that this has shown here. and then the CPR is broken. Although the CPR is very narrow, I never take chances with the CPR, and I must see a consolidation prior to the breaking of CPR from either side. Although price had selling strength today, and we could see that in Bank Nifty also, but this was not a very convincing breakdown. So shorting here was not a very good trade to take, and this was 12:20 p.m. candle that broke down from the CPR. But when price breaks down like this without a halt, it's not a very good sign to take a breakout or a breakdown of CPR trade. And then under normal circumstances, had you seen any consolidation here, see consolidation candles here like this, and then you would have seen this particular candle happening, then yes, this would have been a tradable candle. So then what you could have done is you could have kept your entry level around this area here. So this would be your entry. Above the high here could have been your SL level, and then you could have taken your profit to at the S1 level here. So the next pivot is where you could have booked your profit. Although this does not seem to be a 1:2 trade, but I have not measured it in terms of points because this was not a tradable candle anyway for me. If you are a demand supply player, then you know that since this line here is a strong resistance, it's a strong supply zone. Had you seen this level broken with a strong candle right away, then this was also a shorting candle, but that opportunity was not seen, as I just explained a while ago in this video. So there was no opportunity in Nifty in spite of a big fall in Nifty today as far as my strategies go, and we have seen that this level today, as it is a resistance coming from yesterday, but it was broken today as a support. We don't need that level today, we will delete that, but there is a level that we will mark here, and it's this level here. So let's keep that level ready, and you can keep this level ready also, but since it's within CPR, it's okay if you don't mark it. It kind of coincides with the top CPR. But if you want, you can keep a zone ready. So what you can do is you can keep a line here, and you can keep this entire zone ready. So see here, this zone here is probably a difficult zone to trade in. It's probably going to be a difficult zone to trade in. Why? Because you can see the kind of price action that we saw in this zone today, and that area you have seen a lot of fight between buyers and sellers for a long time. See, it was the 10:05 a.m. candle that reached that support, and it was only the 12:15 or 12:20 candle that could break that level. Actually, you can see that the candle here has a wick, so it was not the 12:15 a.m. candle, but it was the 12:20 a.m. candle, this one, that could break out of that range. As I said, it coincides with the top CPR, so it's okay if you don't mark that level, but if you want, you can keep that level ready. And again, this level, we have this level today, we can just adjust it up towards the PDH. If you want to take this level down, it's okay, you can keep a box marked here around this area. So what you can do is, if you like to mark boxes, then this is one box that you can mark here like this to denote a supply zone, and we will extend the gap further like this. So this gap goes forward as it is, we will just extend that, and this level will now be deleted since that level has been broken. So this level will also go forward as a demand zone. The rest of the levels we have already marked. So I hope you understood the price action of today and the kind of levels that we have marked and why we have marked them. This is one more level that we could mark, but since we already have the CPR there, we don't need to mark this level here. So the level being the 16,570. Okay, and we are not marking that level, this one highlighted in black, because it's already there in the CPR. Okay, let's check Bank Nifty now. So as I said, the very third candle in Bank Nifty, which was this candle, broke down off the previous day high. Now the previous day high, you can see, was a supply zone. We had marked it here, and on this day we can see that price had fallen from here to here. So that was a big fall, and so that was a supply zone. But again, you can see the 9:25 a.m. candle, this one. So when this price breaks down like this, it opens with a strong red candle here, and then it breaks down like this. You should see the price action that it is showing. You should see what kind of price action both Nifty and Bank Nifty are showing, and I just showed you that Nifty was still above the previous day high, and when previous day high is a strong supply zone, it acts as a strong support when price comes from the top. Well, that is what I've said in every video. So then this candle was not a shorting opportunity, it was not a breakout candle. Technically it is a breakout candle, but since you should watch Nifty and Bank Nifty both, and if Nifty is above the PDH and if Nifty would have taken support at the PDH, then Bank Nifty would have reversed after hitting the PDH, or even after breaking the PDH it could have reversed from here. So it was not a very good trade to take. Now what was the correct trade to take here today? Was the CPR breakout the correct trade to take in Bank Nifty? See, I'll explain to you here. Now I was waiting for price to come at the level of the bottom CPR, which it came here with the 10:05 a.m. candle. Now watch this very carefully, okay? Now this was the 10:05 a.m. candle which could not break the CPR. And then I was waiting for the 10:10 a.m. candle to break the CPR. And can you see this wick here? You can see the 10:10 a.m. candle wick here. Now this wick here, at that time when it was forming a very deep red candle there. So when you see that there is consolidation within this zone, that is the CPR, for how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 candles. That was around 25 minutes of consolidation, and then the sixth candle is trying to break out. Had I been a trader who would have been impatient, I would have jumped into this very particular candle which you now see as green, because when it was forming at a time it was red. You can see the wick on the bottom here. Obviously the candle had made this low, and when it was making this low, you can see that the previous candle is a red candle, a strong red candle, and then you can see that this candle would also have been a strong red candle like this. So instinctively I would have shorted that candle. That is what inexperienced traders do. But I waited. I always wait for the candle close, and hence you should also wait for a candle close, because price can always give you surprises, and today this candle was that kind of a surprise. So when this candle broke out, you can see that the previous candle's low, which I have marked here, you can see the low here is 35,199.65. And now let's see the close of the red candle. The close is 35,199.50. So it's grazing it, it's barely grazing it, but technically that candle has closed below the low of the green candle. So what I had done was I had shorted this 10:15 a.m. candle because it had taken out the low of the previous green candle, and then you can see that it was in the next candle that I had shorted. I wanted to see if the price would have broken the low of this red candle. Okay, I wanted to wait for that candle low to be broken. So it was the 10:20 a.m. candle in which I had traded. I had shorted the 35,200 call option at 220 rupees at 10:23, as you can see, and I was in good profits till the price was coming down to this level. I had roughly kept my SL up here around this zone here, and my entry point was somewhere here. So you can see that it's around 10:23 a.m. and this, the S1 level, was my target. Now you can see that this was the SL and this was the target, and given the fact that today is a Thursday, I knew that the 35,200 call option would lose all its theta value. I'm sure you would ask me why I traded this, because at that time Nifty was still above the CPR. Now this was my 10:15 a.m. candle and this was the trading candle. So why, when Nifty was so close to the CPR at the 10:20 a.m. did I trade? That was because Nifty at the 10:20 a.m. candle, which was this candle which was still forming, was looking red at that time. You can see the long wick below it. And also many a times I have seen that Bank Nifty, when it looks this bearish here, it usually falls faster than Nifty falls. And the third reason was that Nifty had a very narrow CPR. Yes, there are narrower CPRs than this, but usually given the fact that CPR is that narrow and given the bearishness of the market and the overall negative overtone in the global markets also, and given the hammering that nearly all sectors had taken, I could see that it was an okay enough decision to short Bank Nifty. And had I seen any kind of price action at this level around in Nifty, had it shown me any signs of reversals, I would have taken my profits in Bank Nifty. That would still have been okay because today is a Thursday and I know that there would have been a good theta decay even if I had to book my profits early by the time Nifty came to CPR. So that was technically my plan, but it was not to be, and I wanted to show this trade to you today that my SL was this area which was taken by this particular wick here. So as you can see, a very small insignificant wick comes and takes my SL. My SL was well protected because in Bank Nifty the CPR was not very narrow, not as narrow as it was in, but still my SL was taken, and at that level I took my SL. My spot chart was showing me that my SL was taken, although I was not in the decided stop loss range of my MTM. But that is my rule. If my spot chart shows me that my trade has hit the SL, then I will close my trade in my options also. It is easy to say after the fact, but had Bank Nifty reversed and shot off from here, the delta move would have killed the trade anyway. So I did not want to take that risk. Exactly the place where I had planned to take my SL on the spot chart, I took it, and that was the end of the game for me. Now at the end of it, today I am not sad that an insignificant wick comes and takes my SL, and then you can see the way it has fallen, and then you know that the 35,200 call option, which is right here, has gone to 0 rupees. It does not matter. I have gotten out of the trade in loss, and the 35,200 call option, I would have earned all the premium had I stayed put with the trade, because I would have been sure that whenever it reached the S1 pivot, even then price action would have shown me that there was no chance that Bank Nifty was going to go back to 35,200 again. That is how you stick to your rules while trading in the live market, and you trade mechanically and you trade like a machine. You do not bring in emotions and you do not feel bad about how and why the trade went wrong, and then you do not start questioning your strategy. Just because this trade took one small insignificant wick took my SL, I'm not going to go around hunting for strategies. This is a strategy I've been using for years, and that is a strategy that I have shared with you. You know that CPR has completely altered and changed my trading career, and it's only CPR that I use in all my trades. So whenever price is away from the CPR, you have seen that I never ever trade. So I never focus on the profit side and I never suffer from the FOMO emotion. So this was the trade that I took today, and let's go ahead with marking the levels now. See, now it has bounced exactly from the same zones that we had marked. See, here it has taken a bounce, here it has taken a bounce, and from here it has taken a big bounce. A strong green candle is formed there. Okay, so what we will do here is we will delete the demand zone here. We will delete this box here, we don't need it anymore. But what we will do is we will keep this level intact. Okay, I'll just adjust this level up a little bit. I will keep that level intact, and we don't need to change that level at all. We will just go ahead and mark a box here. See, this kind of a box where it shows us that it is a demand zone for tomorrow. It's a demand zone. Why? Because we see that this is a very strong green candle here that has formed. Although the day ended there, but we might see a bounce from there if price opens around the same area or it opens flat tomorrow, which is a big chance given the fact that today has been a trending day. And now this area, which is a supply zone, this is the PDH for yesterday, for 2 sessions before. We will just mark it here. Okay, we'll keep the level here. We'll keep that level ready for tomorrow. We have the R1 pivot here, right? So we can just simply mark a zone here, so we know that we don't want to take any trades within that zone. So it's safe to mark a zone here, and then we'll just extend it. Why have I marked that zone here? Because price had given a fall yesterday also from that level. See here, and here it took resistance, and today it opened outside it and broke it. So that supply zone continues. So it's safest that you don't take trades within this zone if price comes there tomorrow, or if you are in a trade here, or if you're in a long trade below the R1, then it makes sense that you close the trade below or before the R1 or whenever it hits the R1 pivot. This gap still remains, but I don't think it's going to be filled anytime soon given the price action that we are seeing for the past 2 days. And this will be a demand zone, so it's important to mark all the demand zones and supports at this point, because price is falling, and in falling markets it's important to mark supports more than resistances and supply zones. This level is within the CPR, so we don't need to mark it here, and you could keep this level ready here like this. So whenever price goes to that level, even if it breaks out of CPR, you know that there is a resistance that price is going to face here. Why? Because price has spent a lot of time in this area trying to break that area, but it hasn't been able to break that resistance. So I think that is it, guys. I hope you like this video. If you have, please hit the like button and also subscribe and hit the bell icon so you're notified each time I post a new video. Thank you for watching, guys. Please share my channel with your friends and family. I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.